Hi, my name is Dennis. In this vlog I aim to create high-key lighting that can be used for interview filming. I shall be using a range of industry lights, from Eri to Kinos to Dado lights. For this test, I will be working in my home studio that currently has just a white background. I have asked my daughter to stand in as the model, so without further ado, let's jump straight into it. Setup number 1. The aim of this setup was to light the subject using only 2 lights. I have used 2 Kino lights 400. They were both fitted with tungsten bulbs. I filmed on the Sony PMW f3 with an 85mm prime lens. The subject was 5 foot in front of the white background wall. The camera was approximately 8 foot in front of the subject. To the camera's right is the key light, and to the camera's left is the fill light. I have kept the intensity high on both lights. However, I have moved the fill light further away from the subject here by dropping a few stops to create a shadow, but still maintaining the 45-degree angle between the light, subject and camera. This setup works well with the white background even though it appears to be grey. Using a black background for this exact shot will not be ideal as the subject's hair and jacket would merge with the background, unless that was the intention. I am happy with the outcome of this setup. It is basic but it serves the purpose. The result is a well-balanced profile shot that has depth. It is ideal for interviews. Setup number 2. The aim for this setup was to artistically light the background wall. Similar to setup number 1, I have kept the subject, camera, key light and the fill light in the same exact position. However, I have added a third light that is positioned behind the subject, facing the background wall. For this I used a Dado tungsten light and narrowed the beam to fit into the frame. The result is a well-balanced usable shot, with a brighter background that appears to separate the subject from the background. More so, I like the way it creates a vignette around the subject. This setup would be perfect for interviews, as long as the camera does not move. It appears that the Dado background light would be even more appreciated on different color backgrounds such as a red, blue or others. If I had the chance to set up this very shot again, I would try it on a bright red background. Setup number 3. For this setup I have also kept the camera, subject, fill light and the key light in the exact same position as setup number 1 and 2. I have removed the background Dado light and replace it with an Eri 800, but reverse it to light the subject from behind. This is called either a headlight or backlight. The thing that I like about the back headlight is the silver lining that it creates around the subject, which separates the subject from the background, especially when the subject is exactly the same color as the background. For example, if the background in this shot was black, similar to the subject's jacket, the headlight forms a silver lining around the subject's jacket. This then separates the subject from the background, hereby creating depth. Setup number 4. Here I wanted to bleach out the wall to create a perfect white background, where we only see the subject. As in setup number 1, I have also left the camera, subject, key light and the fill light in the exact same position. I have now removed the Eri 800 from the previous shot. I have then added 2 Kino lights at full beam facing the background wall. The results shows the subject in front of a clean white background. This setup is commonly used in music videos and beauty product adverts. It is essential to get the balance right between the foreground and background light. The problem I faced was the brighter you make the background lights, the more it spills onto the subject. To resolve this problem I pushed back the background wall to avoid unwanted light spilling onto the subject. Setup number 5. In this setup I have kept all the lights in setup number 4. However, I have brought back the Eri 800 from setup number 3, which I use as a back headlight. I have also added a second subject in form of a plant, and a purpose light, which will appear in the short's foreground in the form of a lampshade. Because of the amount of light that I was using, I started to see the light eating into the details of the subject's fine hairs, and also in the thinner parts of the plant. Given the chance to do a similar setup, I would avoid bleaching the background in order to retain more detail of the subject. A second option will be to use a camera with a wide dynamic range, such as the Red Epic or the Blackmagic Ursa, but most importantly I would shoot in RAW, to be sure that I have a good chance of recovering any lost details. To conclude, here are the 5 setup shots side by side. I believe any of the shots are usable. However, It is important to choose the right lighting for every particular shot. Furthermore, choosing the right mise-en-scène, appropriate color palette and lighting would help to enhance the narrative.